Hi everyone, so in today's video I'm going to talk about the DOM. And what is DOM? The DOM is Document Object Module. That's a JavaScript term, but don't get furious about it. You'll know about it in a couple of minutes. So the first thing we're going to talk about, I'm going to write here, is an h2 tag. And I want to give this tag, I want to give it an ID of, let's say yesterday, and inside the yesterday tag I give it like this, just in case you are not so familiar with HTML. I mean, in your website you could have different h2s, you could have different stuffs, so to speak. You could have different headings, different subtitles, that kind of a thing. H2. If I go up, if I check my UI, as you can see, I have, see what this is the one I gave an ID, the H2 and ID. These are different H2 tags. So in your website you could have different H2s, you can have different H3s, but if you want to be specific about this H2, meaning that you don't want anything to override it, like you want to, because there are instances whereby we are going to make use of CSS, and if you give a color to H2, if you give a color to H2, it can affect these two. Like, let's say I just give color H2 red, take for example. Now it's going to affect this two. And what if no, it's only this one, it's only, let me give this a real word, it's only D I want it to have a color. It's only D that is only this D that I want to change the color. Let's say I want D to have a color of red, so to speak, and I want this one to remain white. I'm going to give D an ID. And it could be any ID, probably maybe DL, something like that, and the name of my H2 tag is DTHE. So I really hope we get the point. But this is really not the main discussion of the matter. I'm just going through HTML. Main thing I want to discuss is the JavaScript. So back to what we're discussing. And I give this H2 an ID of yesterday. I give this H2 an ID of yesterday, and I name it as 23rd. So as it is, this is HTML 23rd, and you can see my UI. You can see 23rd right here. So believe in me, you might be thinking that why is that? That means I have to always change it from here. I have to always change it. I have to always give it. But do you know that with JavaScript you can actually change it? You can actually change this whole HTML with just JavaScript. So I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. So I can simply write const. Let's say I want to name it as const, let me see, yesterday L, or yestl document dot get elements by ID. So let me name it oh no, not let me name it. You name it by this. Sorry, I'm going to explain. I'm just writing it down. I'm going to explain what I'm doing, so doesn't look I'm going to explain what I am doing. Alright, so the reason why I gave it, just in case you are new to JavaScript so as well, consts, it's usually the way they declare variables. So there are different ways they declare variables in JavaScript. You can either use let me zoom in very well. You can either use maybe let yemi equal, or let yemo equals 10. You can also use const yemo equals 10. So there are different ways in which you can declare variables in JavaScript. So you can either use let or use const, whichever one, but const is more of something permanent. I mean, that means you don't want this variable to change. You want it like this. You can easily change it. Yeah. So what are variables, if you may now ask me? So this yes star L is a variable. It's a variable. And what are variables? Variables are like storehouses. Variables are storehouses that you store things. So take for example now your house. Your house, the building, or let me just say the building. The building is a variable. It's a storehouse. But the things inside your building are the values. The things inside your building are the data. So that's what I hope that analogy I gave, it's something that you can relate. So in your house you have chairs, in your house you have food. The food is the value, but your building is a variable. So we store in programming generally, not even just JavaScript, we store values, we store data in variables. So for example, now let me say let yemo equals to 20. So yemo in this instance, or in this case, is a variable. Yemo in this case is a building. Yemo is just a building. But what is inside yemo? What is that thing that is inside yemo? What is inside yemo is 20. What is inside yemo is 20. And if I want to access yemo, or if I want to if I want to show you that 20, this good, or this value, this data, this chair, if I may put it that way, this 20 is inside yemo, I have to do what they call console.log yemo. So this is an object. This console is an object, and log is a method. So I am calling this object, is calling this method to display what is inside yemo. I hope you get. So this object, this is an object. It's calling .log. It's calling this method log, and it's calling methods. Normally they are behaviors. If you don't know what method is, or methods are behaviors. So it's more like a role. It's like the role of a father in the house, the role of a child in the house. The role of a child in the house is to obey their parents, that kind of a thing. So it's a role. So it's a method. A method from a child is to obey their parents. That's a method. So this object it's calling on this method, and the function of this method is to display yemo in the console. So it's going to bring out a log of yemo. in the console. I hope we get what I'm saying, and I hope it makes sense. And how you see it in the console is when I click on this. So I just go live now, and I would go to inspect, go to console. I will just zoom in. So normally when in your UI, you simply, what I just did was I right clicked, I went to inspect, and it brought me here. So this element is the HTML part. This console is mainly where you put your JavaScript, right? So it's 20 that is showing here. So this is the log. So what this is saying is this object, like I said, is calling this method log, and is telling this method log that Oga, I want you to show yemo. I want you to show what is inside yemo. Rather, I want you to show what is inside yemo. So that's why we are. So it's like we are calling on. It's like your parents calling on you to obey them, or like God calling on you to obey Him. That kind of a thing. So this method is a behavior. It's acting on what this object is saying. It's acting on what this object. So I really hope we understand that analogy, and I hope it makes sense. So this yesterday is a variable and it's a storehouse, if I may put it. And what is inside the storehouse? This is inside the storehouse. All of this is inside the storehouse. So const yesterday equals to document dot get element by id, then in bracket quote yesterday dot text content today. You might be saying that what is all this that Yemi is even putting? Like, this is just grammar for me. This is like, seriously. So what, so like I said, I've already explained this already and I believe you understand this. So equals to document. This document is an object. So remember I said in the beginning of this this teaching, I made mention that what we are talking about today is DOM, the document object model. So these documents that you are seeing here is an object. So this is the document, this index.html. This index.html that I am in currently, this h2 tag blah blah h2 id, because this is the document. This index, it is the document. These guys, all of these guys here, it is the document. So and in JavaScript I'm using it as an object. So I'm saying documents, which is the object, dot get element by id. It's a method. I mean, you can even see self. I did like this. So methods are behaviors. It's like, yeah, it's a task. I'm telling you to do this. It's like I said, I used the family illustration of the functions of a child is to obey their parents. So this method is are like behaviors. They are tasks that we want it to do for us. So this document dot get element by id. So this is the id that we are referring to. This is the id we are referring to. So document dot get element by id in brackets yesterday. This quotes that I put here refers to this. Then I now put after I put the quote and the bracket, I now put dot text contents equals to today. Now some people usually use dot inner dot html. Some people use inner html. Some people use inner text. Depends, but I prefer using text content. So you now write dot text content. So the purpose of this, right? The purpose of this is to manipulate the DOM. This inner.html equals to today. The purpose of this is to manipulate the DOM. And what do I mean by the DOM? I mean the document object model. Like I said, this document is the documents as it is, and as this is index.html. This is the documents. This is an object. This document is an object. Then the model, you can see this whole JavaScript like this. This from consts, all of this to this last place is a model. Let me even highlight it so you know what I'm saying. All of this is the model. All of this is a model. So to manipulate the DOM, that means I'm indirectly just saying I want to manipulate the HTML. So in JavaScript is more like the boss. JavaScript is the Oga of the web. JavaScript runs things. So if HTML is proving stubborn, and I can tell if HTML does not want to change, HTML, I'm telling you that I don't want this guy here, I don't want 23rd here, and you are proving stubborn. JavaScript will just be like, no problem now. Should be proving stubborn. Don't worry, I can manipulate you. I can change you. And like I did here, I just manipulated the DOM. I wrote dot text content equals to today. What was in the HTML before? Was it today? It was yesterday now. It was yesterday. I wrote it was yesterday. Right? It was yesterday. And what was inside the yesterday? 23rd. and I just manipulated it. How did I manipulate it? I wrote the text content equals today, and if I check my UI, I can assure you that you won't see 23rd. You won't see 23rd in the UI anymore. You will see today, because I have manipulated that text. I've manipulated the DOM. I've manipulated this index.html, and I have put it as today. So I really hope we understand and at least get something in what I have said. If I check my UI right now to see, you are going to see today, right? See, today. And if I want to console.log, I can easily console.log and just type in yes_l. So if I want to see the log of this, you will still see today, because I have changed it. I have manipulated the DOM. I have manipulated the document. I have manipulated the index.html. I have manipulated HTML. I have manipulated the DOM. I have manipulated the document object model. And you might let me even just go there now. You can see today. And you might also be asking that model. You know, normally architects, you know, let's assume that you want to build a house. You first draw it. You know, that kind of a thing. They plan, they draw. So that thing that I have drawn, I've drawn already. You know, I can easily change. Let's assume I've drawn it, right? That's my model. And in my house, you know, by the time I'm confusing myself. By the time I've planned, I've drawn the building, right? Then in this on site, that's physically, I have built my house, that kind of a thing. But I might see that no, there's something in this house that I want. I can easily go back to the drawing board, and so I can go back to my drawing board and I can easily change, like no, I want this kitchen to be in this way. No, I want this kitchen. So as I change it from there, I will now go back to the house. I'll now change. I'll just call laborers. There's a different plan. There's a different plan I want you guys to help me change this. So I hope you get that analogy, that this JavaScript, let me highlight it again. This JavaScript you are seeing here is the model. So document object model. The document, let me go back again so it will sink in. The document is an object, which is this index.html. So document dot, I'm calling this method to change. I'm calling this method to change the ID of yesterday. I'm calling this method to change this ID. I'm calling this method to change this ID and to give me this. So that's just basically the DOM. I hope we understand. There are many others. So let me even just continue. Let me do another one. Let's do another one. I'm just conscious with how long this video is, but I really hope you understand all what I have been saying. Okay, so let me give each one, or let me even give a paragraph. Let me now say practice. Yeah, let me now say practice. Let me give a paragraph. Let me write success, like that. Yeah, oh no, I didn't even write success. So let me give this a different name. Let me just say tree. Yeah, let me say tree. Yeah, so this one now. So let's now go back to our index.js. So by the way, this is how, if you want to practice it, this is how you access it. So from here, as it is here, I'll just simply do control my keyboard, and I click. It takes me right here. So this is how you do it. So I think I've made a mistake somewhere. Okay, no, I've not. Okay. Alright, so now this other example we want to do, this one is I put paragraph. This is also an element. I put paragraph practice. I gave this paragraph tree. I gave it tree. If you check our UI now, you're going to see tree, right? You can see 3. So I'm now going to now go to my index.js. I want to manipulate this guy. I hope we get the point now. I want to manipulate this 3 paragraph. I don't want, like, I'm JavaScript as the boss is saying that HTML, I don't like what you gave me. That's exactly how JavaScript is behaving. JavaScript is telling HTML. JavaScript is telling the document. Let me put it that way. JavaScript is telling the document object, and it's telling this document object that I don't want this paragraph you gave me. I want to give it my own. That is what JavaScript is saying. So you now go to index.js. So I right click, like I said, right click and just click control. Sorry, let me go back to review. Control on your keyboard, press it down, then just tap it, click. Yeah, it now takes you here. So next one now, let me now write const nature. And by the way, variables, you can give them any name. It's not you can give the name, you can give them any name. So document dot querySelector querySelector. So I go back to my HTML. I want to see what I gave as my query. So this is what I gave it as. So I have to copy it. Right? Copy it and I paste it, and I now put the text content equals to perfect. So that way. So what is happening here? Like I believe we should know this now. This is the storehouse, and this is what is inside this. This is what is inside the storehouse. This is what is inside this variable, if I put it that way. So const nature L equals to document. Document is what? Remember, document is the object DOM object, document object model. Yeah, the model is the JavaScript. The model is actually what I'm manipulating. It. So document dot querySelector. So this querySelector actually works like this guy. It works like this it works like the dot get elements. It works like the dot get element. So well, there's just a slight change in the brackets. I'm going to put hash. So this is how we give IDs. We give IDs in querySelector. It's just very similar. The only difference is that I put an hash. So if for querySelector ID, you give it hash. If I give the querySelector a class, it's going to be like this. But I gave it an ID, so it's going to be like this. So the text content equals to perfect. So who can guess what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to manipulate what? I'm trying to manipulate the DOM. I'm trying to manipulate this index.html. I'm trying to manipulate this document. I'm trying to manipulate the web. Yeah, so we do the const nature L document dot querySelector practice dot text content perfect. And I can show you that if I check my UI, you might be thinking that you see 3, right? You might be thinking you see 3, but JavaScript is very powerful. It's a very powerful language. So, and I can show you that what you are going to see is going to be perfect. So you won't see 3. I have just manipulated the DOM. I have manipulated the document objects. I have manipulated that index.html. So if I check the DOM, you will see perfect, right? See, perfect. So that's just basically it. This video is already becoming too long. Well, let me do the one for the class. So I gave this an ID, and I give this what can I give this as? study school. Okay, yeah, so I've given this an ID of study. So if I go to my index.js now, and I just write const study. By the way, it doesn't have to be EL. I just usually give this here as, I don't know, it's a variable. You could name it anything. Documents dot querySelector normal. So instead of putting hash, because it's a class, did I give it a class? Hey, let me check. Oh, this is a mistake. Sorry. I give it a class. Let me see. No, I gave it an ID. Sorry. I'm going to give it a class this time around. Yeah, so because it's a class, I am now going to put it as dots. So instead of hash, I'm going to give it as dots. So dots, what did I even give? Let me check. Study. Yeah, so I just copy this guy, and I put it here, study. Then test contents, I name it as let's say I give this test content as education, and I end it with a semicolon. Normally in JavaScript you usually end statements in semicolon. Yeah, there's some programming languages that you don't need to end it with semicolon. No, sorry, we don't. It's not compulsory. Don't mind me. Sorry, that was my bad. It's not compulsory you end the semicolon. If it was in Java, you are going to end. You have to end it with semicolon. It's quite important to end with semicolon. But in JavaScript, it's not compulsory. I end statements like this in semicolon. It's voluntary, but I prefer ending it. I want to get used to it. Yeah. So who can guess? What do you think this would? What do you think this would? Do you think what is going to be displayed in the UI? Do you think it's school that will be displayed in the UI, or it is education? And I'm sure you guessed right, because I know that you guys are very smart. So you see, there we have it, education. So that's simply how we manipulate the documents. We manipulate the index.html. So that's basically the DOM. So that DOM thing is just big grammar. Honestly, it is big grammar. It is big grammar. It is just indirectly it's just, that DOM is more like saying JavaScript is in charge. So that means whatever HTML writes, I can easily tweak it, I can change it, I can do whatever I want to do with HTML, because as JavaScript I am the boss. That is what indirectly JavaScript is doing. So I really hope we get it. And apart, let me just show you something. And apart from this test content, I can also give it a color. I can give it a color, and I can write it as the style dot color. The style dot color, and I can give it red. I mean, I don't even need CSS. I've manipulated it. I can give you red. So let's just see, and there we have it. I give this color as red. I give this 23rd as red. And you might be saying, that it's because you've not put index.css now. So in fact, with JavaScript Go, I've even styled it, or I've styled it. I didn't even put CSS. But in order to, if you might be thinking otherwise, let me put CSS, just to prove you, not just to show you that JavaScript is master of CSS as well. It's not just a master of HTML, it's also a master of CSS. So let me just copy this guy. Like the way we did for index.js. I can right click and it will take me to index.css. I hope we are getting the point. So let me just copy this guy. I copy him, index.css. I put so the reason why I put hash is because what? Because it is ID. Because it is what? ID, and that is why I'm putting hash. If it was class, I would have put dot. Okay, so I'll now write color. let's say aquamarine now. So this aquamarine now. Let me remove where's my index.js. Let me remove this guy. Text content. Let me name it as today. Yeah, today as I gave it. Let me name it as that. So you can see aquamarine, that's what I gave the CSS. But like I said, JavaScript, the DOM, I can easily manipulate. That's what you see, all those DOM grammar. The thing was confusing me before, but it doesn't confuse me anymore. That DOM grammar is just saying JavaScript is a master of HTML and CSS. With JavaScript, I can change what is in the HTML document. I can change what is in the CSS document. That is what DOM is just basically saying. So don't be freaked out about the grammar. It is just saying that JavaScript is in charge of both HTML and CSS and it rules over them. That is what it's just saying. So let me go back to index. Yeah, so as you're seeing now, it is like this. But with JavaScript, in being a master of CSS as well, I can also change it. I can write it as dot style dot color equals to red. You know, it was aquamarine that I was showing before. I can show you that if I go to the UI now, you'll see red. You see red. So there we have it. So that's just basically the DOM. That's basically the DOM. So that's what we call the DOM, the document object model, meaning that the JavaScript is a master of HTML and CSS, and it can change things in both cases. Please, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please remember to subscribe to my channel. And I mean, if you really like this video, please, I would love you give a comment about it. At least if you tell me, you can just simply tell me what you understand about what I've said. Tell me what you take home with all what I've said. So that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.